Are you taking a attendance snapshot? Anyone, please?
It's not
No, sir.
to us.
Okay, no. No one has informed from the institute side to take a snapshot.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yesterday we discussed forms of business organization. As you all are aware that we covered that point, forms of business organization. Today we will be covering meaning and importance of accounting in business organization. Then terms used in accounts, various terms which are used in accounts. That we'll be discussing today. So today our importance of number one, number two, use in accounting. Now, with regards to the meaning and importance of accounting in business organization, we are importance for what is the position of business organization where what type of profit is incurring loss or business is generating revenue.
Hello, sir.
Hello, hello.
Sir, you have muted yourself. Hello, sir.
I think there is some
Sir, you have
technical
muted
problem.
yourself. Okay, okay.
Hello. Now, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clearly audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So as I was sharing with you yesterday, we discussed forms of business organization. 5 forms we discussed yesterday. Today our topic will be meaning and importance of accounting in business organization. And the second one is different terms used in accounting. So these points we will be discussing today. Is it fine now? Am I audible now clearly?
Yes, sir. Now audible.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in regards to the meaning and importance of accounting, first we discuss about the meaning, because again descriptive questions can be asked on this topic. Not only descriptive but even multiple choice questions, MCQ, are also expected. So before accounting, bookkeeping comes in picture and accounting comes later. So bookkeeping is the initial of accounting. Though it is not mentioned, but still we need to know that before accounting, we will have to bookkeeping step. Then only we can account. So bookkeeping meaning
Excuse me,
is
sir. Sorry to interrupt
recording
you.
of business transaction.
Hello.
हेलो
Your
सर,
voice
आवाज
Yes.
ब्रेक हो रही है.
आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है.
हाँ.
Yes, sir. नेटवर्क इशू होगा सर.
Yes, sir, I am facing little bit network issue.
Right
That is
now
why
it's clear, sir.
the voice is breaking. But in between again it goes. So before accounting, bookkeeping comes, and the meaning of bookkeeping is recording business transaction in a set of books. Set of books, there are journal, ledger. These are the main 2 books where we record business transaction. So that is known as bookkeeping. And once we complete bookkeeping, then accounting starts. Accounting, it is the process of recording, analyzing, summarizing, and interpretation of business transaction. That is known as accounting. Again, I repeat, accounting, it is the process of recording, summarizing, analyzing, and interpretation of business transaction. That is known as accounting. Now here, if you observe, I mentioned 4 keywords, and those 4 keywords are accounting. It is the process of recording, and as I told you, recording, it is being done in bookkeeping. Bookkeeping simply take care of recording business transaction in a set of books. So bookkeeping becomes input for accounting. Whatever care taken by bookkeeping, it is being forwarded to the accounting step. Now accounting goes beyond that, goes beyond recording. Accounting, as I mentioned, it is the process of recording, summarizing, analyzing. Now what is summarizing? It takes overall summary of each and every account. Now these are the words which I am using, account and this thing, that will be discussed maybe after 5-10 minutes, because I want to clear those terms, what is account and what is liability and what is assets. But right now you just try to understand the meaning or definition of accounting. Accounting, it is the process of summarizing and interpretation of business transaction. And I said summarizing, it is nothing but to take the summary of each and every account at the end of month or at the end of year. You have to the entire summary of that particular account. That is known as summarizing. And summarizing, it is available in ledger book. Recording is available in journal book, because journal, it is the prime book of organization. It is the first book. That is why it is known as prime book, journal. And ledger, which gives you summary of each account. I am audible, no? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now
Yes, sir.
analyzing. Yes, the third term is analyzing. What is analyzing? Analysis of, means you have to segregate the transaction, because when you run any organization or a business, in a day you come across several transactions. There might be expenses, there might be income, there might be expenses on asset, there might be expenses on day-to-day expenses, that is frequent expenses. Now these all expenses we have to analysis, you have to segregate. That is known as analyzing. Once you done with the analyzing of transaction, then interpretation. So these 4 points are being taken care under accounting. So again, I repeat, accounting, it is the process of recording, summarizing, analyzing, and business transaction. That is known as accounting. So this was about the meaning of accounting. And bookkeeping, as I told, bookkeeping, it simply records business transaction in a set of books. And what are the set of books? Can you share me your response? What set of books I mentioned? Which are the set of books? Yes, please. Journal and ledger. These are
Ledger.
set of books. Journal and ledger. These are nothing but the set of books. And journal ledger, where comes? It comes under bookkeeping or accounting?
Bookkeeping.
Correct, bookkeeping. So bookkeeping, it is the initial stage of accounting. Unless and until you complete bookkeeping, you can't jump to the accounting. So this is the primary step or first step in accounting, bookkeeping. Now, in regards to the bookkeeping, in earlier days, in olden days, there was a single entry system. But in today's term, we follow double entry system. So your was a single entry system. You follow that step. Now no one follows single entry system. Now it is completely outdated. Today we are following which system? Double entry system. Double entry system. And even in our syllabus, we are going to follow double entry system. So what is double entry? That right now I will I'm just mentioning you. Today we follow double entry system. Earlier we used to follow single entry. Now whenever there is a network issue, if you are not hearing, please type out your message so that I can read in the screen. Now you are hearing me, no? I am audible to you, no, right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, after understanding the meaning of accounting, now we will try to understand the importance of accounting in business organization. You name any business. Yesterday we discussed five types of business organization, 5 forms, if you remember. So these are all organization. Suppose so needless to say, it has a great importance to accounting. Without maintenance of account, no organization will come to know their position, overall position, or we can say financial performance of their activity. So it is very much essential. So it is very much essential accounting part. Can you share me what are the forms we discussed yesterday? Business organization forms.
Yes, sir. Sole proprietorship, partnership, public limited, private limited, and cooperative societies.
So
Housing
all-
cooperative societies.
Yes, cooperative. So all these firms need to maintain account and accounting. Let me tell you, it is a mandatory procedure for each and every organization. As per the Company Act 1956 and even recent Company Act 2013, it is mandatory, it is compulsory for each and every organization to maintain accounts. So you will understand the gravity of accounting. Since it is mandatory, so you need to have your accounts department. You need to audit your account statement. Now, why government has compulsory? So there are certain reasons behind this. Our government, their major income source. What do you think? What is the major income source of government?
Tax.
What is the major? Yeah, tax. And now, very correctly said, tax. So tax is the major source of state government as well as central government. As we know, today we are paying GST or certain earlier before GST there were sales tax and whatnot. So these taxes, government sometimes directly collects from the customer. Sometimes it collects from the organization also. Whatever profit earned by organization, on that profit, government imposes tax. So government asks each and every organization to file their financial statement with the authority, government authority. So they assess each and every document of organization, and on the basis of that, they ensure whether the organization has paid correct amount of tax or they have avoided of paying tax. So this is one reason that government is interested in collection of tax. So that is why they have made compulsory. This is number one. Number two, even government would like to know GDP. GDP, you will be studying in economic subject. GDP stand for gross domestic product. So this is the one parameter where we calculate the nation's standing in the world. Nation standing in the world. Then per capita income, GDP. These are some important parameters where government would like to measure, calculate. So for that purpose also, they require account statements from organization. So this is number two, the importance of accounting. Number one, I said tax collection. Number two, I said calculation of GDP per capita income. And at per world level, if a country which is having maximum industries and maximum capacity to generate employment, that country, of course, it is being known as powerful country in terms of revenue generation. Now, there are a few countries in the world, if you observe, they do not generate sufficient amount of revenue, and that is why they are facing unemployment. I'm not claiming here that our India is totally full of employment. We also have population who do not have employment. But if you compare other countries, their per capita income is also very much low. Recently, if you have read a newspaper, there is information about per capita loan burden. That whatever loan we have taken from the World Bank and other financial institutions. So that statistics was shared, I think, 1 week back. Anyone knows this information? Which is the country that who is having highest amount of loan per person? Anyone knows? Our neighboring country,
Pakistan.
that is Pakistan, which is having huge amount of loan, and that loan they have calculated per person. It was almost $8,000, and our India is having $4,000. So we are almost 50% of Pakistan. Our loan burden is 50% lower than as compared to Pakistan. But surprisingly, Bangladesh is having a minimum amount of loan per person. Though we feel that Bangladesh is doing even good there as compared to us, our India. Now this statistics, how at world level it is being calculated on the basis of accounts. So if you do not submit accounts, then these figures or this information we cannot discuss in a class, or we cannot mention in our discussion also. And that is why we need accounting. So this was about meaning and importance of accounting in business organization. Another point before I start the second point, let me share with you why accounting is important. Accounting is important for organization to measure their expenses, how much expenses they are going to pay in a current financial year. So when you talk how much expenses they are going to pay, then it is called as a budget. Then some students will be wondering, then sir, budget, is it a part of accounting? It is not a direct part of accounting, but accounting can be a base for budget. If you hold your account statement, earlier account statement, on the basis of that, at least you will come to know that last year how much amount we have spent. Say for example on electric bill, how much amount we have paid on maintenance, how much amount The organizations paid on salary. So if you have maintained accounts of earlier year, then it becomes easy to prepare budget. So this is one traditional system. Now new system has come up in preparation of budget, that is known as zero budget. What is zero budget? Zero budget means to start from the scratch level. So you will not be given any past information. No past information will be given. But still you have to prepare budget. So that becomes difficult for manager. That becomes difficult for manager to prepare budget when there is no past information given to you and you are asked to prepare budget. Am I audible, friends? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. बोलिए.
So zero budget. Zero budget is what? When budget is prepared from the scratch level. Means when there is no past information is given and you are asked to prepare budget, that is known as zero budget. But in traditional budget, you are given past information and you prepare budget. So when you are given task to prepare budget traditionally, then that time you require accounts information. So that is why it is also important when time comes to prepare budget. So remember these 3-4 points. The in order to explain the importance of accounting in business organization. Now we will discuss the second point of today's session, that is different terms used in accounting. Different terms used in accounting, and maybe in next 2.5 months you will be listening these words frequently. So it is necessary to understand in first week itself that what is the meaning of this word, and then later on again I will be repeating those words and again meaning also, and then it will be easy for you to memorize. Now frequent words, that is say capital. So capital, it is the amount when owner introduce at the time of commencement of business, that is known as capital. I repeat, capital, it is the amount which is introduced by owner at the commencement of business. At the commencement of business, that is known as capital. So capital may be in the form of cash or in kinds of building, machinery. Even suppose if owner is having his own building, so that building can be used for business purpose. So that could be a capital. Not necessary that every time there is a cash. It is also in terms of kind also. In terms of kind. And capital is always liability for organization. Capital is always liability for organization. When we prepare balance sheet, under balance sheet, we have to mention under liability side capital. In a balance sheet, there are two sides. One is liability side and the other one is asset side. Now, what is liability? Liability, where organization supposed to repay, organization supposed to pay back. That is known as liability. So capital is liability from the point of view business. Now, let's understand the second term, asset. Assets are the properties and belongings of the organization. With the help of assets, business continue their activity. Now, what are the assets? There are virtual assets. In organization, there are assets which can be seen, which can be touched, and which can be feel. Now these assets are known as fixed assets. Fixed assets. Now fixed assets, example like building, plant and machinery, furniture, vehicle. So these are fixed assets where organization need huge amount of money and the benefits are spread over a period of time. We don't get immediate benefit. Say, as I give you the example, building. Now, you know, the building life is, what do you guess? What is the minimum life of building? Any guess?
90 to 100 years.
99 years.
Yeah,
99.
sometimes it is 99 years. Now, even if you observe the buildings which were constructed at that era of British, even those buildings we are using today also, bridges and building. So sometimes if quality material is being used, so it may last for 200 years also. But general life of building is about 70 to 100 years. It is general life. Now, when business construct building, so today you will have to invest huge amount in building, but the benefits are spread over a period of time. Over a period of time. So that is why remember the fixed assets are those assets where benefits are spread over a period of time. In asset, there are three durations involved: short term, medium term, and long term. And then accordingly you have to classify. Now, suppose if I ask you furniture, how will you classify? Medium term, short term, or long term? If I ask you for classify furniture,
Short term.
furniture short term or
Medium
medium
term.
term?
Medium
Medium
term.
term. Because generally furniture
Medium
we can use minimum 5-7 years we can use easily. Am I correct or not? Furniture,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we can use minimum 5-6 years we can easily use furniture. If teak wood is there, teak wood, then those tables and chairs can be used for 50 years also. Teak wood, what we call in Marathi sagwan lakud. So that is the quality wood. So it lasts more than 50 years also, teak wood. But nowadays there is shortage of teak wood. Teak wood is not available easily. So we use normal wood and plywood. So these material can be easily used for 5-6 years. So furniture we can classify under medium term. So this is medium term asset, but still it is fixed asset. And in regards to the building, which is long term asset, it is also called as a fixed asset. It is also called as a fixed asset. Now there are some assets which cannot be seen, which cannot be felt, and which cannot be touched.
Goodwill, patent,
Yes, patent. Very
trademark,
correct. Patent.
Intangible assets.
That is intangible assets. The very correct word, as you said, intangible assets. So intangible assets are those assets which cannot be touched, which cannot be felt, which cannot be seen. As the examples as you have given, patent, rights,
Goodwill of the company, copyrights,
goodwill of the
trademark.
company, goodwill, because a company develops their brand. So brand is also becomes under goodwill. So goodwill is the intangible asset. So tangible assets and intangible assets. While discussing, you have given me this very perfect word, that tangible assets and intangible assets. Tangible assets are those assets which can be seen and felt, like say building, machinery. We can touch to the building, we can feel we can see building size and height. So that is tangible assets. Intangible assets, as you have given the patent, right? So that is also being treated as intangible assets. Now, you might have heard the author Chetan Bhagat. Chetan Bhagat, who is IITian engineer and who has written several books and some stories being taken by uh, Bollywood producers, and they have made films on that. Recently, there was a film where Arjun Kapoor acted in that film. He belongs to the Tamil family, and the girl belongs to the Maharashtrian family. What was the name of that movie? This was a story written by Chetan Bhagat.
Two states.
Yes, Two State. So Two State. Now, when this Two State movie was made, now this story was originally was written by Chetan Bhagat. So they took permission from Chetan Bhagat. Taking permission means they have given remuneration to Chetan Bhagat. So Chetan Bhagat demanded certain amount, and that amount was given, and then the rights were given to the producer. So that is why it is asset for Chetan Bhagat. It is intangible assets, but still it is asset.
Sir, can we say instead of remuneration, he has received royalty?
Yes, yes, that is a very perfect word, royalty. So it is known as royalty. So royalty, it is the income in terms of intangible assets for Chetan Bhagat. So it is royalty for Chetan Bhagat. So when royalty is being paid to the outsider, so assets are grossly divided into tangible and intangible asset. And in tangible asset, I told you again, in tangible asset, there are two groups of asset. One is fixed assets and the other one is current asset. Now, fixed assets are those assets where the benefits are spread over a period of time. Can you share the example? Which is that asset?
Fixed assets are buildings, furnitures,
Correct,
machinery,
building.
as you
So,
said.
building or machinery are the example of fixed assets. Vice versa, current assets. Current assets are those assets where benefits are received within a current financial year. That is known as current asset. Please remember these words. Current assets are those assets where the benefits are received within current financial year. That is known as current asset. And fixed assets are those assets where the benefits are spread over a period of time. Maybe 10 years, 15 years, 50 years, 60 years, 75 years, and so on. Now, I have given you the example of fixed assets. Now, the examples of current assets.
Cash.
Yeah, interest from the like loan given or something for interest which is incoming in company.
Which means debtors also.
Okay. The examples of current assets are debtor, or closing stock. Whatever stock is maintained by organization, entire stock cannot be used for conversion of uh, finished product. So some stock is left out. So that stock can be used in next month. So this is the example. Closing stock is the example of current asset, because whatever stock you are maintaining, that stock is being utilized within that financial year to convert into the finished goods. Then another example, debtors. Debtors means what is debtor? When organization sells its product on a credit basis, because today it is the competitive world. You can't sell your entire product on cash basis. You can sell some product on cash basis, no doubt. But I'm telling you, entire sale cannot be done on a cash basis. Am I correct? Can we sell entire thing on a cash basis?
No.
No. So, in order to sustain in competitive world, in order to sustain in the competition, we have to have these strategies. To if you are targeting maximum sale, then you have to declare such scheme that some credit facility, some discount facility. Now, if organization is offering credit, say for 1 month credit, 30 days or 45 days, so that when organization sells product on a credit basis, it creates debtor, and debtor is the example of current asset. Now, whatever goods we are selling on a credit basis, so within a year we recover money from that customer. होता है ना ऐसा? Within a year. Now our year is starting from April to March. So whatever sale is being done in the month of June, so maybe end of June or maybe in the next month, that is July, we collect money from customer. So that is the example of debtor, the term of debtor, and debtor which comes under current asset. Vice versa, debtors, creditors. What is creditors? When the organization purchases its raw material from supplier on credit basis. Just now I told you, when organization sells its product on a credit basis to customer. Similarly, organization also purchases few material on a credit basis from their supplier. This happens in business or not? Or am I talking a very different term, different information with you? होता है ना ऐसा? Hello? Hello?
हाँ सर
होता है ना ऐसा? Organization also purchases raw material on a credit basis.
Yeah, sir,
Yes,
definitely.
sir.
So when organization purchases raw material on credit basis, that time it creates creditors, and creditor is the type of current liability. Debtor is the type of current asset. Okay. Creditors comes under current liability. Now, what is current liability? Current liability means organization is supposed to clear their dues within that financial year, within a year. That is known as current liability. As I told you, in assets, there are two type of assets: fixed assets and current assets. So similarly, in liability also, there are two type of liabilities: long-term liability and short-term liability. So short-term liability or current liability, the example is creditors or bills payable, outstanding expenses. Now, what is outstanding expenses? There are some expenses which organization has incurred, but they haven't paid it. They will be paying those expenses in future time. That is known as outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses are those expenses that organizations has incurred expenses, but they will be paying in future date. Today they have incurred, but the amount will be paid maybe after 1 month. So till the time it is known as outstanding expenses. Vice versa, prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses. Outstanding expenses comes under current liability. Now prepaid expenses. What do you mean by prepaid expenses? Prepaid expenses are those expenses. Expenses are paid in advance, but the benefit will be used afterwards. Benefit will be taken in future time. Say for example, if there is a company, am I audible?
yes sir
If there is a company and company has booked, say, flight ticket of a marketing manager, that marketing manager has planned his visit in next month. Now today we are into January, and February the marketing manager has scheduled his plan to visit, say, outside India, maybe Japan. Now today organization is booking flight tickets. Today they are paying. But when your marketing manager is scheduled for traveling, your marketing manager has scheduled traveling when? Today? Are you following my example? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you following my example? Prepaid expenses.
No, sir. Please repeat, sir.
Okay, I repeat once again. Prepaid expenses are those expenses which are paid in advance, but the benefits are taken afterwards. Benefits are taken afterwards, and that is why prepaid expenses are uh, written under current assets. That comes under current asset. First, you understand the meaning, then I will give the example. What I told you, prepaid expenses are those expenses which are paid in advance, but the benefit are taken afterwards. The example is, suppose there is organization and the organization financial year is April to March. Okay. Now, on the 5th of March, a company has booked a plane ticket of their marketing manager, and marketing manager has scheduled his journey in the month of April. You all are aware. If you would like to plan your long tour, then you need to book your ticket in advance, or just one day before, or the same day. What is your experience? If you want to plan your foreign tour, you will book your ticket on the same day or in advance?
Yeah,
In
usually in
advance.
advance.
In advance. Generally,
Advance.
when you plan for a foreign tour, you have to book your tickets at least 1 or 2 months prior to your journey date. Then only you get tickets at a lower rate. If you book a ticket on the same day or one day before, then your organization will have to pay a heavy amount to the aviation company. That is the experience. And if you are schedule your travel in railway, even train also, and suppose if your financial year is March to April, sorry, April to March. Now your marketing manager has scheduled his tour in the month of April through train. So, in order to get confirmed tickets, what is your experience? If you want to have confirmed tickets, when you are supposed to book your railway ticket, you are wanting to have confirmed tickets. You are wanting to have confirmed tickets. So at least as per railway practice, uh, generally people they book their tickets 2 months before. And if you are going for Tatkal, then you will have to pay extra amount to the railway authority. होता है ना ऐसा तत्काल? In Tatkal, you have to pay premium amount, extra amount to the railway authority. But in regular amount, if you want to plan your tour, then at least 1 or 2 months before you need to plan your. So when organization spend this amount 2 months before, but the journey is scheduled at later date. So this is the example of prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses, like our in mobile also, there are prepaid uh, charge, prepaid, and there are some mobiles which are postpaid. Postpaid. First we uh, use our mobile and then we pay bill later. That is postpaid and prepaid. So prepaid is the example of current asset. Then another term is drawing. Drawing. Drawing is what? When owner withdraws money or goods for their personal purpose. That is known as drawing. What do you mean by drawing? Can you share me? Can you share me your response? What you understood drawing?
Money
Yes.
from bank.
Money from?
Bank.
No, money utilized for personal purpose.
Okay.
When,
Yes.
when owner withdraws money or goods from his business for their personal purpose, that is known as drawing. Suppose if you are an owner of business, just imagine you are an owner of your business and You have withdrawn some amount for your personal purpose. Maybe for your spouse or for your parents, you have withdrawn 10,000 rupees to pay medical bill for your parents. So is it business expenses or personal expenses?
Personal.
It is personal. So when the owner withdraws money for personal purposes, it is known as drawing. तो समझ गए ड्राइंग का मतलब? What do you mean by drawing?
Yes, sir.
Drawing is not just to draw picture.
Which money will be used for
Yes, yes. Personal purposes. That is known as drawing.
this drawing?
Yes. Now we will discuss another one or two terms, and then remaining terms we will continue in the next session. But before discussing next one or two term, whatever terms we have discussed, if you have any extra information, if you have not understood, please share with me. So immediately we can I can resolve your doubt. If you are having any doubt or if you are not understood, please tell me. Any doubt so far? Okay. Shraddha has mentioned that all clear. Fine. Now we will go ahead after okay, Nikhil, after understanding this drawing, say cash discount. So this is also the term we frequently use in accounts, cash discount. Cash discount generally it is given, it is offered to the customer from the business, cash discount. And there are few reasons why organization is giving cash discount to the customer. Maybe sometime for prompt cash payment, because organization declares the scheme. If you are purchasing on a cash basis, you will be given 10% discount. If it is on credit basis, then on a MRP price, the good will be given. So in order to collect maximum, in order to attract your customer on a prompt cash payment, cash discount is given. Now generally cash discount, it is being given to the from retailer to customer, cash discount, retailer to customer, and cash discount it becomes expenses for organization because it is expense, no? Because they are giving discount, so it is being treated as expenses, and cash discount is being given from retailer to customer. And when there is a discount between retailer to wholesaler, then it is known as, anyone knows what kind of the discount?
Trade discount.
When trade discount, correct.
Trade
When
discount.
there is a, so remember this two trade discount and cash discount. Trade discount, it is between wholesaler and retailer. Wholesaler offers to the retailer trade discount, and it is not being recorded anywhere. Retailer do not record this trade discount because this is the margin given to the retailer. But when retailer offers, that is being recorded in accounts. So cash discount, it is in between retailer and customer, and trade discount, it is between wholesaler and retailer. So remember this information and sequence with whom it happens: trade discount and cash discount. Closing stock. Closing stock, this is the item which comes under current asset. What is closing stock? At the end of year, whatever stock is left out, that becomes asset for organization, and then maybe next time it is being used for further processing. So that is closing stock. Another term, bills payable. Bills payable, where the organization is paying on a future date. They have received, but the payment will be done on a future date. That is known as bills payable. And bills payable, it is mentioned under current liability because it is liability for the organization. As I told you, bills payable, it is the item when organization pays on a future date. So till the time it is treated as current liability of organization. Vice versa, bills receivable. Bills receivable means organization will be receiving that amount on a future date. That is why it is being treated as a current asset. I hope I am not making you confused. Bills payable and bills receivable. These are the two different opposite terms. Bills, again I repeat, bills payable means organization will be paying on a future date. That is why it is known as current liability. Bills receivable means organization will be receiving on a future date. That is why it is known as current asset, bills receivable. Any confusion so far? Cash discount, trade discount, bills receivable, bills payable, debtors, creditors. Yes, please.
No,
Any
sir.
doubt so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Clear, na? I hope I am not making confusion. Or any confusion state, please do not hesitate to share with me. Because two different opposite terms we are discussing. Now, journal, it is the prime or original book of organization where day-to-day transactions are recorded. That is known as journal. Journal, it is prime book or original book of organization. Why it is called as original? Happens prime book of entry. About 12, 13 terms we have discussed today.
झालं. अभिषेक अभिषेक पाटील